What is up? We're going to be going over a upper body strength and power with a little bit of bonus conditioning at the end. So getting started with just a banded pull apart little shoulder warm up. Most athletes I see, they tend to go to the traps like that. Please don't do that. You want to pull down and back with them. This is a abbreviated warm up. I did a full shoulder mobility kind of warm up before all of this. But essentially, we're just trying to warm up the posterior delts, rhomboids, get the shoulder girdle working correctly before we start to go into our heavy pressing and heavy pulling based movements. Typically, I find that most athletes who have any like sort of shoulder pain, it's due to the shoulder joint not necessarily working correctly. I didn't put these in the warm-up. These are just me getting a little warm. You can do push-ups instead. These would be a substitution for the banded over and backs that you can do with the PVC pipe. If you choose to use the PVC pipe, you can take it a little bit further and do a few more things with it, which I find beneficial for just helping open up the shoulder joint. So these are just around the world. And then I personally love working some of the external rotation to help open it up. The PVC pipe or the pole with the bottom end you can use as leverage to kind of help get your shoulder back into a deeper external rotation. And then lastly, it's just a little bit of a tricep stretch and then into some internal rotation. So you can see my internal rotation isn't that great, which having the band or having the PVC pipe to help pull my arm up to a greater degree helps me. So now we're gonna get into the actual workout. The first set of bench press, I like to do a few normal reps and then move into oscillation reps. So an oscillation rep is just some quick pulses in and out where you're trying to contract and relax very quickly. It's more of a power-based movement. This is just to help get the central nervous system fired up. Before I get into my working sets, I typically like to do a lesser degree of plyometric push-ups just to get the movement pattern going with all of that. Now, we're gonna get into some shit. So this is the meat and the potatoes of the actual training. So this is our horizontal contrast set. The sets that we're doing, it's 5 sets, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2. I almost died right there because of that bar is not very great. It spins too much, it's a little wobbly. Yes, I know I have suicide grip. I had a shoulder injury a few years back. I learned to do suicide grip because it took some of the pain away from the bicep tendonitis that I was having, and I just haven't gone back. But you actually see I have to go back towards the end because this bar is so shaky. So with that contrast set, we want a heavy compound movement, a heavy loaded movement, and then into our power-based work. So the low volume is not to cause any fatigue. If you're ever like twiddling your thumbs and don't know what to do in between sets, I personally love doing some YTAs or YTWs in between my sets, just again to hit some more of the posterior delt. I feel like it helps me set my lats and my back a little bit better before going into my heavy bench press sets. So I believe this is a set of 3. Set of 3, 315. And then now I'm really trying to explode up as hard as I possibly can. So these are drop-in push-ups where I'm trying to catch and then launch myself back up as high as I possibly can. So think heavy loaded movement, recruiting a lot of muscle fibers, getting a huge CNS drive, and then we're going into a contrast set with the drop-in push-ups to take advantage of post-activation potentiation. So all that means is basically you get a greater power output on your plyometric base exercise. And we're doing the same concept with the back. So we're going into a power row. A power row, you get to use a little bit of your legs, you get a little bit of momentum just so you can get a little bit more bar speed, lift a little bit of heavier load. If you saw in the beginning, it said a sled row, which I personally love. Just I'm in Miami right now and the gym is not quite what I typically work at, so we're making it work. That's why I have alternative exercises in all of our programs, because not everyone has the most decked out sports performance facility. Most people have to work out in a commercial gym, just like I pretty much am right here. except for the vibes and the neon and all that because it's Miami. These are in and out inverted rows, so really great. It's a little faster movement. It's kind of like a plyometric because the catch and going from in to out. You also get a little bit of like dynamic grip strength with that, which is really good for a lot of like grappling athletes. Then we're just moving into some straight strength hypertrophy based work, lat pull down. With these, I'm actually allowing the shoulder joint and shoulder girdle to elevate as high as I possibly can and then contract and pull all the way back down. So you see, I'm trying to get a big stretch every single time. Previously, in my younger years as a personal trainer, I used to think everything needed to be shoulders back and down, but that's not actually how the shoulder girdle moves. And if we chronically are doing shoulder blades back and down, we end up losing some of the natural movement, which our shoulder girdle should do. Now, since we did a lot of like heavy pressing, I'm always in favor of improving some shoulder stability. So these kettlebell bottoms up presses are great for that. What we're trying to think about here is, one, obviously controlling the weight on down, but when I'm pulling the weight down, I'm thinking of like almost contracting my lats. The lats are going to help stabilize your shoulder a little bit more. You're also going to notice I have my back toe in the ground and I'm trying to flex my glute and my core, trying to integrate the entire system up and throughout the movement. These you want to go nice and slow. It isn't a strength-based movement. And then finally, you can swap in any ab exercise you want. I like the ab rollers personally for this one. And when I'm doing the ab rollers, I'm almost thinking of trying to drag that pad forward and using my low abs and obliques rather than just relying on like lats and shoulders to do the movement. So a couple of sets here. And yes, this conditioning is about to suck. So it's 4 rounds of rotational slams. Trying to pop that ball every single freaking time you throw it. And then essentially go into a heavier, slower base movement. Still going to cause some fatigue, but allow you to catch your breath just a little bit going into some single arm farmer's carries. So this is about 50% body weight. I weigh about 230, 235. So this is 115 pounds on each side. I'm really focusing on bracing the core. We had to speed this up a little bit, so you know, but I'm really trying to be as controlled as I possibly can. Plus, I'm already tired as shit. So I'm sacrificing some muscular pain to catch my lungs because we're about to go in and absolutely smoke them right now with the last little piece of conditioning, which is the assault bike. And yes, like I said, we're in Miami, so the wall graphics are something to be desired. So all we're doing here is max effort sprint. Think empty the fuel tank, leave nothing left, push, pull, everything you've got with this. If you're trying to get in shape and trying to get in condition, I personally believe you should try to go as hard as you possibly can because the whole goal is to be tired anyways. So if you like this training session and got a lot out of it, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below any questions, comments, or next videos that you want to see. And if you're looking for some more structured training so you don't just lollygag around at the gym and actually get the results that you are looking for as an athlete, make sure to check out the Peak Performance Program and the resources down